Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and as you can see, the new update has dropped, and I've been playing around with a few things, just a few. So this is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because, yeah, we've got some things to talk about, so yeah, let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. So, for those who don't know what's going on around here, we have been playing with some of the new items that have been put out. There was a huge patch. It's 1.7 gigs, I think, for the newest version of Space Engineers. Technically, I think we are now in the 1.0, but I think they're still calling this, I don't know, like the 1.88 or something like that. But they've added some things, and because they've added some things, I'll show you here. Basically, everything got unlocked again because, well, you know, updates. So I need to go through, basically rebuild the save a little bit. Now it does convert your world, so if you're playing in an existing world, you know, the first time you log back in or the first time you restart the world, you're going to have to convert your file. So before you do so, if you want to save the old world, just in case of, you know, it's Space Engineers, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. You may want to back up the file before you load it. That way, if something goes wrong, you have a spare file to load in from. So, some of the things that they have changed. LCDs. So basically, anything with any of the actual, like, vanilla blocks that have an LCD screen on them now have new images. This includes things like the med bay, cockpits, and I don't know if they did anything with the actual LCD screens. Let me check that. Do I have any panels? Let's see. Let's pick up some plates really quick. I'm rather curious now. Let's get rid of those things for a second. I don't think they changed any of this. I can never remember. Constructions, computers, and displays, and in glass, obviously. Alright, so we need just a few of these. A few of these. Do I have any glass? A couple of those. Doesn't look like I have any glass. Let's go ahead and make some glass really quick. Oh, so, happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a fantastic week. Oh, I need one display, really? Oh, I'm one display away. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab that. Come on. Thank you. Doesn't look like they changed any of that. Let me see if they added anything new down here. Wait, screen no entry danger. Nope. Okay, so they haven't added anything there. But they have added a ridiculous, well, I don't want to say a ridiculous number, but they've added some interesting new blocks. Let's head outside. I'm going to show you one of them that they added. One of the new blocks is the wind generator. So this is a very ridiculously cheap thing to build early on, because what happens is there's now a bit of a progression system installed, or part of the vanilla game, and if you are using this system, it operates very much like what we're doing, except you don't have to do the research. If you ever use the grind to learn mod, what you would do is you place a block, or you find a block, you grind it down, and you get the blueprint. In this case, what they're doing is you start with a limited number of blocks, and as you place and build the blocks, when you build the requirements for the next tier, it will unlock the next series of blocks. So as you are playing through, just like normal playthrough, you can actually progress. You'll start with limited technology, and as you progress through what you're doing, you'll earn more, which is actually one of the ways that I like progression systems. So I haven't played with it yet. I am trying to decide on whether or not I am going to use it moving forward. I don't know about for this playthrough. We'll probably keep this with the research tree. It looks like the research tree mod does still work, but I need, like I said, I need to go through and rebuild the save so that I can try it out and make sure. I really like this thing, and this thing puts out a surprising amount of power. Let me see here. So the wind turbine's putting out, you know, max output is 280 kilowatts. One of the things you do need to look at is your wind clearance. Basically, you want this thing built somewhere where you're going to have it not really be blocked by anything. So yeah, Ice Lake's going to be the place to be, I think. Now, I don't know if that will change at altitude. I will need to do some experimenting with that, and I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to be doing this weekend, is playing around with some of the new blocks, because we have not just this. There's now a hydrogen engine for those who have not seen it previously. Is there a place for me to put this thing? Can I mount you there? And this thing actually has a small hydrogen tank built into it. What do we need for you anyway? We need a lot of stuff. Yeah, we need a lot of stuff. Okay, let me grab a few things here. So, yeah, it's been actually pretty interesting so far. Do I have any powers? Oh, I don't. Interesting. Can I make any? I don't know if I can even make... Oh, I can. Okay. I only need one of those. What else do we need? I need computers, motors, small tubes. Let's do this. Okay, so I need steel plates, large tubes, small tubes, motors. Let's see what this thing looks like. So we need that. I only need 2 more of those. Let me see here. Still need the power cell and steel plates. Okay. But yeah, I'm liking what they've done so far. It's actually been pretty good. Game is actually, if you can tell, with all of the stuff going on, if you remember, it was getting a little chunky in the game. But it does seem like things are much more stable now. So now, one of the things that you will notice, if you remember, we had a hole in the ground over here that, you know, from where's it at? There we go. Right, so this is where the that ship crashed. Turn light on. So it did not regenerate the world. Well, it did regenerate the world, but it didn't, if that makes sense. Basically, the planet has already been generated, so it shouldn't change the content. One of the things that the update does is it removes uranium from the resource spawners on planets. So there is no uranium on planets anymore, which is why all of these new power systems are important. Now, for the hydrogen system, for the hydrogen engine, it does need to be piped in. Basically, you'll need an O2 generator somewhere in the mix. But the hydrogen, this whole engine here, let's go. So, because it's a tank, It is technically a tank. It doesn't have actual, well, it's supposed to have a small hydrogen system in there. Let's take a look. Okay, so it can put out 5 megawatts. That's not too bad. And it is a tank. I'm surprised that they don't have any type of internal storage on it, because with normal tanks, you'd be able to come over and put the put your hydrogen bottles into it and fill it up that way. But because it doesn't have internal storage, that's interesting. Whoa, hello. I'm kind of wanting to fire this thing up and see what it does. I'm wondering if it's animated. I don't think... Oh, well, maybe it is. It might be animated. You know, I'm going to have to try this now, right? Oh. Don't worry, I'm going to take the whole thing apart. I'm just kind of curious to whether this thing is actually... All this to see if it's animated. This is awesome. So basically what you're going to need to do in new saves and new survival is you're going to have to build wind power to power the O2 generator, which will provide hydrogen to the hydrogen engine, which will then provide you with your actual power. So this is basically a bootstrap system. Do I have, you know what? I was about to say, do I have any ice? Yeah, a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna come over here. Since we already have a hole over here, I don't want to recreate too much if I don't need to. Ooh, that's loud. Now, some of the things that have changed in the game world is the voxel system is a little bit different. As you can tell, you've got some new ore blocks. So when you break things now, you get these nice little, very pretty little blocks. But if you notice, there's no random debris. Everything that breaks out is salvageable now, which is good. One of the other things that they changed is that refineries. If you take stone and put it into a basic refinery, they are using the not useless stone mod. Basically, you can put just regular stone into a refinery, and you'll get. I do that. Okay, but yeah, you can put regular stone into a refinery now, and you'll get trace amounts of the different materials. So you can basically start with there's a survival block that has very rudimentary refining ability. Let's see here, and you're looking for, is it engine? Yeah, hydrant. Alright, let's turn that off and on again. Yes, it is animated. That is awesome. Alright. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, okay. Oh, there's even an animated fan on this thing. I can see this becoming the center of a couple of builds. In fact, I actually have some ideas for that already. Oh, that's going to be good. So if that's 5... How much power does a large reactor put out? I'm kind of curious now. $300 megawatts for the large reactor, 5 megawatts for the hydrogen reactor. So you would need a lot of those, but that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I have some ideas for you, little buddy. Alright. So, let's take a look at some of the other blocks. Some of the blocks I'm not going to be able to use. Small battery. They actually have put this in. It's now part of the vanilla game, as you can see it here. It's actually really cute. It's a nice model on this. The guys over at Keen Software did a really good job with these. Alright. Let's mod it stuff. Solar panel. They've updated some of the graphics for some of the blocks. My understanding is that the next couple of updates for Space Engineers will be things like tweaking the final images. But we will see. They fixed a bunch of the exploits. I think that's really all there is. Alright. Yeah, I think that's pretty... Oh, I guess I should show you the survival kit. So you now have a survival kit, you have a basic assembler, and the thing that I know everyone's asking for, and yes, I've been teasing you, we have ladders back in the game. And it looks like they may have gotten, what do you need? Look at that. Nice ladder model. I like that. But yes, we have proper climbing animations again. Look at that. They work and the world doesn't explode. Okay, Merrick, I'll admit, you did good. For those who don't know, I've been giving him crap over on Twitter about the ladders and things exploding. I'm one of those people who started when Space Engineers was literally just a kind of a sandbox building game. There wasn't really anything to the game. There were no survival aspects. Hell, I don't even think there was oxygen in the game at that point. I think it was just like there was no AI in the game. There were no NPCs of any kind. Yeah, but there used to be a ladder block. And the ladder block, this little piece right here, was actually in this block. For those who have seen the old passageway blocks, there used to be a ladder block that used this thing, and it was basically on that back wall there. When you're looking at where what's the ceiling in the passenger or in the passageway block, they used to have a ladder on it. So you used to climb up these things, and then they took the ladders out and replaced them with just this basic passageway block. So yeah, I'm glad to see the ladders are finally back in the game. So thank you guys for putting those in. This is one of the things that people that have been longtime fans of the game have wanted to see come back. Ever since they took it out, honestly. But there used to be a problem with the animation and collision, but it looks like they fixed it. So yeah. Alright. Now, onto the actual blocks worth worrying about. So there is now this thing called the survival kit. What this is it's a med bay, med bay, health bay, refinery, and basic assembler. And as you can tell, it can be piped into your network. There are two connectors for pipes, so that it is passed through. Which means you could put an air vent on one side, pipe the other side into your network, and be able to pressurize a room. This is important because if you notice, I am using the vanilla UI, and down in the bottom center, if you look down by where the quick bar is, you will see two status indicators. One that tells you what your O2 status is in the environment around you, and one that tells you your temperature. This is important because the colder your temperature is, the faster you will lose power and oxygen, I believe. So what happens is you need to be able to pressurize your bases very quickly. And as you can tell, this thing requires basically nothing to produce. You're talking 30 steel plates, 5 computers, a display, 4 motors, 3 medical components, and 2 construction components. The medical components are the most expensive thing in here. And you should be able to produce those fairly quickly. a lot of the, well, all of the respawn ships have been rebuilt, right? So they now have either the survival kit or a med bay, depending on which version of the starts you're using. But the vanilla ones, I think, have now replaced most of the med bays with the survival kits. Because let's face it, med bays have a lot of components in them. And, you know, gives you a bit of a jump start. But if these are piped in to like your O2 network, you can recharge off of them just like a med bay, which is nice. The other new block is this is the basic assembler. It produces a limited amount of ingredients, however it produces more than the basic, so you go from the survival kit to the full assembler, or you should be able to jump straight to the full assembler if you get the materials that you need. The thing is I don't think the basic survival kit, I don't think it'll produce some of the components that you need. I think you do need it to produce this thing. And then once you have this, it will allow you to build the rest of the items that you need for refineries. Once you have the refineries up, you take that and you use this to produce the rest of the parts that you need for the actual assembler. Now, let me see here. Let me check. Because I don't know, well, because this requires large steel tubes. So the basic survival kit probably doesn't allow you to make large steel tubes. You'll need the... I guess we can build it and find out. I need steel plates. We need the basic stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and build one of these really quick. And where are you at? Basic assembler. So that's the nice thing about that, right? Okay, so we need that, and then we need... Where is my survival kit? There it is. So what we're going to do, let's grab the parts out of the assembler really quickly. Alright, and we're going to go into production. We're going to have this then build us a survival kit. So I'm kind of curious to see what this thing allows us to produce. It's cute. Basic assembler. So yes, there's the large steel tubes, detector components. Man, they're not joking when they say a limited selection. Hiccups, excuse me. Alright, now let's go ahead and build. Like I said, this is our normal playthrough save, so we will, off camera, grind all this crap down and reset everything, but I do need to do a little bit of rebuilding on the save file. So figured I'm gonna have to do the work anyway. May as well go ahead and take this time to show you what we've got going on. Wow, I do like the fact that that is a single block, and it looks good. The question is, what can you produce? You produce ingots. Okay. Produce tools. So, yes. What they have done is they've set this up as a progressive block system. So you use this to do some basic refining and some basic assemble. You use, once you have the parts that you've built from here, you build this. Then you use this to build the parts to build the full assembler and refinery. And then you use this to build the things that you're going to need for things like your hydrogen engine. Okay, makes sense. That explains why the wind generator is so cheap. So basically, because what you'll have to do is, in order to power this, you will have to have that. Huh, interesting. Okay. Good to know. This actually opens up some possibilities for new survival series. Alright, so here's today's vote. So we are going to do a vote on this. Do you want me to rebuild the save and continue on with our research progression playthrough, or do you want me to start a new save? I am actually fine with doing either. Like I said, I have some ideas for these new blocks. I actually have a lot of ideas for these new blocks. And we'll be able to use those ideas either way. But if you want to see the new survival mechanics from the start, we'll start a new game. We will start a new game in a hostile environment so that we are not on a Earth-like planet, so that the survival aspects actually matter. And we'll see how quickly I die. So those are your two choices. Do you want to see a new playthrough in a hostile environment using the new vanilla progression system, or do you want to continue the series that we've got going on? Alright, so as always, the vote will be up in the top right corner. Go hit that card. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to be kept up to date as much as possible, be sure to ring the bell as well. Alright, so I'm going to get out of here. It is like 2 a.m. my time, and I still have to render this video and go to work in about 3 hours, so yeah. Alright, we're going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everyone. Oh, now I have to clean up all this stuff. Oh, sad panda.